Well, hello, PJ here, and I am doing something super mundane right now. And I'm a little out of breath, which I'll explain. But I'm on the computer, I'm making the schedule for XGym for next year, and it's super tedious. And I don't want anyone else to do it because if it gets screwed up, then I only have myself to blame. So, what I'm doing to break up the monotony and to keep my brain sharp, because as you know, tedious things, you can get caught in a routine and then you just get mindless and then you can screw it up, is I'm forcing myself to take a break every 5 minutes. And also, it's October now, and so it's cold here in Kirkland, Washington. And instead of turning the heater on, I'm turning my own heater on. So the way I can get through this super mundane task that I'm doing is to do a really hard thing every 5 minutes. And because it's a mundane task and I'm not having to focus on it, taking a break every 5 minutes is fine. The break that I take is about 20 seconds. And it's doing a super hard exercise motion that is part of my training to be able to do a front lever and a planche by the time I'm 60, which is 7 months away. So here's how it goes. I have my timer set, my recurring timer set on my watch, and it alerts me every 5 minutes. So I stop my mundane task and then I do a tuck front lever and hold that as long as I can. And it's not very long because it's super hard. And then I reset my timer. Then I come back and do my mundane task. And then I do my planche tuck. And that doesn't take very long because that's really hard too. But they're both really maximal. I'm going to failure on both. And so it cranks up my body temperature. And so being cold in here, I could turn up the thermostat, but how about I just turn up my own thermostat? I'm already at a stand-up desk, and which raises my metabolism about 5% above seated at a desk. And then doing these really hard things every 5 minutes. So it's spaced out. So the same motion isn't done until 10 minutes because 5 minute timer goes off. I go do the hanging front lever exercise and then come back to mundane. And then 5 minute timer goes off and I do my tuck planche and then come back to mundane and then rinse and repeat. And so 5 minutes in between isn't long enough for me to get cold because the motion and the maximal contraction of the exercise makes me hot. And it gets a little bit harder every time, but 10 minutes between each movement is plenty of recovery time. So I can get a lot of those in, which is going to get me closer to my goal faster and higher probability of success. So if you've got some mundane task that doesn't take a lot of mental power that you don't have to focus on, and it's cold, then this is how to turn up your metabolism, turn up your own internal thermostat instead of the thermostat of where you're living, and actually stay more focused on the mundane task so you don't make stupid mistakes.
And that's all I have to say about that.